Hello there. Today we're going to be making a long slow cook shoulder of lamb. Now you can just roast the shoulder of lamb, nice medium rare, really nice flavour, slice it nice and thin, but we're doing it this way just for a change. So we're going to be studding the lamb with some garlic and rosemary. Useful tip with the garlic, sometimes when you get it, you can cut it open, you can see inside a little green bit. Just take a knife, take that out. That's bitter and it stinks. So just removing that really improves the flavour of the garlic. So we've done that. We're going to randomly cut a hole in the lamb, take a couple of pieces of rosemary. This is fresh, just cut it from the garden, still wet. And stick your clove of garlic in there, make a bigger hole in it. Just ram it in. You want to do this randomly over the whole surface, underneath and on top. So that's going to take a few minutes. I'll carry on with that. So there we go. That's the lamb studded all over, around the sides and the bottom and that. We'll put this to one side and we'll start prepping up some of the other bits. Okay, for the veggies to go in with the lamb, we've got some potatoes. Important to use a waxy potato and not a floury one, because a floury one will just go pff when you try and cook it. We've got some neeps, carrots, celery, leeks, onion and parsnip. Everything apart from the celery is from the farm, so it's all nice and fresh. We're going to do what we call a Japanese rolling cut, just to demonstrate. These cook really nice because you get this random shape that's actually all the same size, so they all cook at the same time. So at an angle, make a cut, turn it 45 degrees, make another cut, again 45, cut, and just keep going until you get to the end. And you'll see you're getting this random shape that actually they're all the same size. And they cook really nice. When you get to the end, just do a couple of cuts to mimic the others. So that's the carrot. Swede again, cut, 45, cut, 45. And like that. That's the swede. With the parsnip, I've cut it in quarters and cut out that woody bit. This one we're just going to go like this. Like so. We'll put all of those in a bowl. We've sliced up the leeks. They go in the bowl. We've got a bay leaf from the garden, nice and fresh, still wet with rain. There you go. A few more bits of garlic that were left from the lamb, and a sprinkling of rosemary, all from the garden, nice and fresh. Celery goes in. And the potatoes as well, I've left kind of sort of chunky like that. So I'll carry on with these veggies, put them all in, and then we'll move to the cooking stage. Oh, incidentally, I've got the slow cooker, or hot pot, crock pot, whatever you're going to call it, warming up behind me. Ta-da! There you go, that's the veggies all prepped up, in the bowl, mixed up, ready to go in. So we're going to move over to the cooker now. Okay, we've got our pan on the stove, nice and hot. Going to go in with a little bit of extra virgin rapeseed oil. And then we're going to start to get some colour on this lamb. So place it skin side down first. And we really want to give this a deep fry. Not a deep fry as in deep frying, but a lot of colour, a really deep, rich colour. As usual, the more colour, the more flavour. Okay, that's browned off now. You can see we've got a nice bit of colour to it. Make sure you seal the ends as well, make everything safe. Now I'm going to lift that out. That's going to go into the slow cooker. I'm just tipping away some of that oil. And then into that pan, we're then going to add a sliced onion. That's two medium onions straight from the farm. There we go. And we're going to cook these down so they've got a nice colour. Also, at the same time, I've got 2 pints of lamb stock warming up. That's just 2 pints of water with 3 or 4 cubes of lamb stock cubes. So they're boiling up at the back. So we'll come back when these are cooked. Okay, the onions are browned off now. So I'm going to go in with about a wine glass full of white wine. Just going to let that burn off a second. It's always important to let it burn down a bit just to get rid of some of the bitterness. It just improves the flavour. So we'll let that go. Yeah. Pour in our lovely veggies. I know that a roast shoulder of lamb is a pretty thing and all the rest of it, but the flavours of this, there's something really wholesome and sort of farmhousey about a slow cooked lamb. You know, you can just imagine the lamb sitting at the bottom of the Arga for the whole day, just softening up, getting nice and tender, letting all the flavours mix. You know, this is all good flavour in here with the garlic and the herbs and that. So, there we are. We've got this mixed up. We're just going to give this a really good season. Lots and lots of fresh black pepper. Do like my pepper. There we go. And then some sea salt. Now, although you're putting lamb stock on and that can be a little bit salty, the thing is potatoes and carrots and all root vegetables, they swallow salt and it kind of disappears. And whilst you can add salt at the end and get away with it, it doesn't get into the vegetable. So, there we go. That's that mix. We're ready to move to the crock pot now. Okay, so here we have the crock pot. We've already got our lamb sitting there staying warm. So we'll take all our lovely veggies and we're going to just tip them in over the top. You can already smell all the lovely flavours starting to mix. This is all about the differences between the sweet and the savoury within the vegetables, matching up with the lamb. Lamb likes things a little bit sweet. We are going to make a gravy from the juice in this later on. And we're going to add a little bit of red currant in there just to bring it up a bit. So, there's your vegetables in. Now we've got our 2 pints of lamb stock. And we pour on, maybe not all of it. You want it just up to the same level as the veggies. You haven't got to submerge everything, because as they cook, the veg is going to release water anyway, so the water level is going to rise. Periodically through the 4 hours, I'm going to come and just scoop off any fat that comes to the top. There will be a bit. Now, the old-fashioned way was you'd then use that fat mixed with flour, make a roux, make the gravy with that. But what we're going to do is use corn flour, because you get a better finish. It's much easier to use and less faffing about for your good selves. So, there we go. That's that. It goes on 4 hours. Right, it's actually only been 3 hours, but I'm smelling it and it is cooked. And I'm getting hungry. So, I'm going to start moving on to the next section now. So, first of all, we're going to take the lamb out, which is looking very nice. Just going to carefully lift that out. You watch, I'm going to drop it now. There we go. Now, after about an hour and a half, I turned it over just so that the other side's got a bit of a good marinade and what have you. It's soft as anything. So that's the lamb done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the vegetables and drain them. Take out that, we don't need that anymore. These vegetables are all beautifully super duper soft and cooked. I'm going to transfer these to a dish and pop that in the oven just on 70 degrees, just to keep them warm while I finish the sauce. Obviously the lamb as well. And then we'll finish the sauce. So I'll just give these a minute to drain and then we'll move on. So this is now going into the oven just to keep warm. As I say, it's on 70, just to keep it warm. I'm going to leave this in the bowl here, the stock, for about 5 minutes. Let the fat come off, and then I'm going to lift it off just with a ladle, just by simply going round, just scooping off the fat only, leaving the stock. The fat's not going to kill you, but, well, some doctors say you will, but it will make for a nicer sauce at the end. So that's what we're doing now. Now, while we're waiting on the oil separating from that, we're just going to make up a little bit of cornstarch slurry. So I've got just about 1/4 cup of water. I'm going to take 2 or 3, well actually 2 heaped soup spoons of corn flour and just stir it in. Now we may or may not use all of it. We don't know until we start thickening. So that's just a little bit of prep for when we reduce the sauce. Okay, so I've just got a fine sieve over the pot. I've got most of the oil off. Just pass that. So we've got a nice clear stock. Now we're going to reduce this by about 1/3. That's going to take, by reducing I mean we're just going to boil it until there's not as much of it. That will take about 5 minutes and then we'll move on. Okay, that's reduced by just over 1/2, I would have said. Well, maybe about reduced by 1/2. So we're going to start adding the slurry. Now we don't want it too thick, so we're just going to add a little bit at a time. And you'll see instantly it will start to thicken up. So we need a bit more. You don't want it too thick, like you could build a wall with it, but you want it to stick to the meat. A little bit more. Just about there actually. We'll have a wee taste of it. Oh, my goodness, that's good. Okay, now to finish the sauce off, we're just going to take a little bit of clean spoon, little drop of red currant jelly, maybe about 1/3 of a jar, a little jar that is. But you know, you add as much as you like personally. You want to add it just so you get a tiny bit of sweetness going with it to bring out the flavour of the lamb. That's going to take a second to melt in. Meanwhile, we'll have a little taste. Oh. It's absolutely delicious. Now, if you wanted to, you could add a bit of gravy browning, and that's going to give you a nice colour. Or you can leave it plain and just have it that colour. That's a matter of personal choice. I'm personally going to add a tiny bit of gravy browning just so it looks pretty. Like me. Not. That was a wife laughing in the background. There we go. Just gives you a better colour to these sorts. Okay, well actually that doesn't need any seasoning or anything now, that's just right. So we're going to turn that right down to simmer and then we're going to dish up. I'll show you how to do that. Okay, to serve up, we're just going to take the lamb, simply cut the string or elastic band, whatever you want to call it. String this one. Cut those off. Don't worry about the cloves of garlic and that. Leave them in there. They all add flavour. Take your knife and just start carving. Super tasty. Super tender. Jolly nice. And then what we're going to do, so you see these pieces of garlic in here? Beautiful. I'm trying my best not to nick that piece of lamb that's fallen off. There we go. And then just turn that last one round so that you've got it facing. Now I've got to eat it. Oh! Okay, now we're just going to take a little of the sauce. Pop it over like so. I'm going to take a photograph in a second. Put the rest of the sauce in a gravy boat and pop that on the table. But essentially, look, that's your lamb. Absolutely delicious. Really good for you because it's not been thickened with flour or anything like that. Lots and lots of fresh farm vegetables. Beautiful farm assured lamb. What's not to love?